All right. I'm reading Oswald Chambers, and it says, the holy suffering of a saint talks about how God doesn't require us to suffer. That's not what we're going to say here. And people who want to suffer just for suffering's sake, they've got something wrong in their head, because we shouldn't just want to suffer for suffering's sake. However, when God leads us through suffering to be obedient with Him, we should never, ever, ever fight it. We need to press into what God's trying to teach us. We need to learn to understand Him. We need to protect His name. So even as we're going through all this weird stuff with our lives, the struggles of house, the not selling, the struggles of moving, the struggles of transition that's lasted for a month and a half, actually almost 2 months, the struggles of all the challenges we've been through, we're not tarnishing God's name. We are here to press through. God's teaching us something through it, and we know His character, His will, His purposes, and His ways. We know that when we follow Him, in the long run, things work out. Doesn't mean there's no suffering. No, we're going to suffer through it, and it's okay. Sometimes there's great ease and peace, and it's all easy peasy, but for the most part, to get to the big things and the big rocks and the high places in God, you go through a struggle and a suffering. It grows you. It's like a butterfly coming out of a chrysalis, out of that little cocoon. It's breaking through, and the actual breakthrough makes it so it can fly. I found a butterfly in a tree once, literally, and freed it and got it out of the chrysalis and screwed its wings up. Didn't realize that truth and didn't realize that story when I did. I was younger, and I felt bad. I was like, oh man, I got involved in making it easier for that butterfly to get out. And guess what? I bet that butterfly never flew. And that's sad, in a certain level. For humans, it's even worse. Butterflies' lives are very short and they don't have a soul. Human beings have souls and they have long lives. If we're in there ripping them out of that chrysalis, their wings are not going to form fully so they can take flight. And we want them to take flight. It says here that God is an incredible waster of saints, that He will let them go through suffering, and that our sympathy will stop God's full plan in their lives. We can't let our sympathy stop them short. When we start having sympathy with folks who are going through a struggle that's strengthened their wings, then we are going to cause them to doubt God or look at God and say, He's being too harsh on me. This is too hard. That's not what the case is. A mature saint in God, a mature follower of God, disciple of God, is going to look at that and go, wow, you're going through it. But look what God's bringing. Look what He's done here, here, and here. And look at what He's going to do here. And look what's down the road. And I bet you God's going to do this. We look at the brighter side. We show Him the opportunities. And even if there's not a brighter side, God is the kind of God that it looks like He wastes people. It says right here, look at God's incredible waste of His saints. According to the world's judgment, God seems to plant His saints in the most useless places. Hello, me, moving away from D.C. to the hills of North Carolina, on a farm, at the most effective point of my life, on the hill, meeting with leaders and doing work and business growing. I don't get it. Ministries open up, doesn't make sense. But God seems to plant His saints in the most useless places. And then we say, God intends for me to be here because I'm so useful to Him. It's not the case. Jesus never measured His life by how or where He was of greatest use. God places His saints where they will bring the most glory to Him, and we are totally incapable of judging where that might be. It's not about use, it's about His glory. It's not about works, it's about His glory. We're just joining Him where He wants to do what He wants to do for His glory. The Westminster Larger Confession, we know that we exist for the worship of God and to bring Him glory and for His enjoyment, as well as to enjoy Him in the middle of it. The good news is this: suffering happens, struggle happens. God doesn't change. So in the midst of it, you can ask Him for His perspective and His joy, and it'll be doable. It gets so doable, it's unbelievable. When your eyes get off of the world and the struggle, you're not distracted by that momentary distraction, because that's all it is. A struggle is a momentary distraction. When your eyes aren't on that, then at that moment, that's when you can fully engage the greatness of God, and you are able to look at Him, see Him, be disengaged by the world, everything else starts to fade away. Folks, at this point in my life, I am probably the most qualified to talk about this that I've ever been. We've been through financial struggle, selling a house struggle, physical struggle, transition struggle, move struggle, family struggles, business startup struggles, life struggle, just struggles in every way, ministry struggles, church struggles, relationship struggles, community struggles, family struggles, health struggles, pain. But it's all worth it, because in the middle of it, there's joy. There's Him. He's here in the middle of it with us. Yes, it's tough. He's with us. He's with me. He's with my family. There's so much to look forward to in Him. I know His character as well as His ways. He's growing me through it. The wings are happening. Boom. This is awesome. I've got joy in Him. It's not based on this reality around us. It's based on what we know in Him. So anyways, press in the struggle. Don't give too much sympathy to saints. Instead, encourage them to strengthen their wings. They're going to fly. You're going to fly. If you're in the middle of struggle, I'm with you. Don't get out of this quick. Be intensely, extremely obedient, and thank God for the opportunity to grow your wings, because just after this, you'll be jumping off and flying. We're going to fly soon. You watch. That's my encouragement for the day. Blessings.